but I would not be surprised at all to see her on Tucker Carlson's show.
You're going to be hosting Tucker, so 8 o'clock Eastern time.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Well, it's finally happened. The prediction that has been predicted so many times by so many people is finally coming true. Tulsi Gabbard is basically going to be getting her own show on Fox News. So, as I'm going to show you, she is going to be filling in for Tucker Carlson. Tucker, of course, the biggest ratings draw on Fox News. Not anyone gets to fill in for Tucker Carlson. So this is clearly putting her on a track to eventually host her own show, considering or depending on, I guess, how well Friday's show goes. But this has been predicted for a while. We can go years back. I'll get to some of those predictions in a bit. But, at the time, of course, there were naysayers saying, oh, what are you talking about? Sure, she's on Tucker or she's on Fox News to complain about Democrats every single time, to simply prop up right-wing talking points. But that doesn't mean she wants her own show. That doesn't mean she wants to, leave the left if she was ever on the left. We'll get to that in a second as well. But no, this was in the making for a while. And later on, I'll get to somebody who actually I think deserves a lot of credit for not calling this out specifically, but for calling out Tulsi and her bullcrap long before most people were. First here, I just want to show you what happened the day before. So the day before this announcement came out, Tulsi Gabbard, FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago, a blatant abuse of power. The careerism, the obvious attempt here to just do what you have to do to serve this conservative audience, to get the job that you want to get. It is so disgusting. But there is... Anyways, I already discussed the Mar-a-Lago raid. Trump stole documents from the White House. Like, what more do you have to say? You can't do that. That's illegal. So, not to mention all the other illegality going on. We don't have the full extent of what that raid was about just yet, because Trump won't release what it's about. He can if he wants to. He has the document, but he doesn't want to release it. So this is no abuse of power. This is simply somebody powerful who broke the law having to give those documents back up that they initially took. But this is where we get to Tulsi Gabbard the next day. Here she is on Fox News discussing this big news.
And guess what? Don't make plans for Friday night. You're going to be hosting Tucker, so 8 o'clock Eastern time.
That's what I hear.
Yes. No, you can't get out of it. You're going to be here.
Oh my God, that smile, she's so happy because she's going to be on the biggest ratings draw in prime time. Tucker show, hosting that show, a massive opportunity. So this will likely move her into some other ongoing position at Fox News, having her own show potentially. That's likely what this is setting her up for, assuming she doesn't completely bomb on Friday. But this, of course, has been in the making for a long time. Here's this guy making a prediction. Look how fresh-faced this young boy is. This was December 2019. This was after Tulsi Gabbard voted present on Trump's impeachment. And if you want to see why she contradicts herself here, you can go watch the full video. I'll link to it below and above on YouTube. But I'm going to play just a clip where I bring up this idea of Tulsi Gabbard in a Fox News job. This was clearly a vote that was 100% self-serving. It's meant to get her in the headlines, which unfortunately is even working on me right now. And there are people speculating out there that she's angling for an eventual gig at maybe Fox News or some other outlet. I mean, she's clearly building some sort of odd, weird, conservative support base. All right. Now, I don't want to pretend like I was the only one saying this. In that clip, I was saying how people are saying this. So it wasn't just, me bringing this up. I'll get to other predictions in a minute here. But in case you're wondering why she was contradicting herself on Trump's impeachment, it was because on one hand, she was saying that she didn't want this to be politically motivated. She wants it to be about innocence or guilt. But then in that same video, she goes on to say that Trump is guilty. So you can't both claim that, yes, he is guilty of what he's being accused of, but this is purely about a political move. How can it be political if you're saying it's about innocence or guilt and he's guilty and you're saying present? Again, that was, I think, the most obvious turn. So, there had been moments up to that point that I will, show you here. So on October 24th, 2019. So this was a couple months before that Trump impeachment vote. Jordan Yule tweeting out here, after initially supporting an impeachment inquiry last month, Tulsi Gabbard has now changed her tune, criticizing the current investigation while on Hannity tonight. So this was the beginning of that shift on impeachment, at least. But also, you had her at a Wall Street Fat Cat Syndicate, hitting the Wall Street Fat Cat Syndicate. And that was the same day, actually, that she came out against impeachment after being for impeachment. So, look, we have no idea, of course, what was going on behind the scenes. Who knows the motivation here, apart from the obvious careerism and just propping herself up on the political right. But there was an obvious turn around this time to definitely attempt to try and push herself in a different direction for a different career. And we have other predictions here. So this is also back in December 2019. Progressive voice. Tulsi Gabbard is going to be a Fox News host within 2 years. He's a bit off. Add an extra year to that, but, not too far off. Dean Obadiah. Tulsi Gabbard is not really a Democrat, but she's going to make a great host on Fox News. Again, the same day. This is, again, when she came out for president on impeachment. And Ben Mankiewicz here. Need help answering a question that's been bugging me. Will Tulsi Gabbard's Fox News show next year air at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m.? Wrong, Ben. Add a couple years to that and put her in prime time. That's where she is. I also want to show you just quickly here. So this was a year later. You can see this is now post-pandemic. Look at how much I aged from December 2019 to, to a year later into the pandemic. But here I am also, briefly mentioning this idea. Maybe she's trying for a future position at Fox News. I don't know. I have no idea. But I would not be surprised at all to see her on Tucker Carlson's show discussing this very thing. And if you're wondering what that video was about, that was about Tulsi Gabbard promoting a right-wing smear on Ilhan Omar. This was over the issue of ballot harvesting. So you can go watch that video for more details there. But there are so many examples of Tulsi Gabbard clearly just propping up right-wing talking points, especially, in the past few years when she has been on this turn towards building a conservative audience, that clearly she was trying to move her career, again, purely about her career, in a direction where she can make some easy cash on the right, which, as we've seen, a lot of people try to do. And, because of the amount of unlimited billionaire money on the right, it's a very easy turn to make if you already have a bit of a platform and can use the angle of, oh, I was a Democrat or I was on the left, but now I left the left because I love money. I mean, because they changed. They've all changed. I've stayed the same. When obviously that is not the case. But let's get to, so this is also in December. This is a year after the impeachment vote. Hawaii Representative Tulsi Gabbard introduces a bill called Protect Women's Sports Act. So this was Tulsi Gabbard's last move in Congress before leaving Congress was an anti-trans bill. Again, showing you what the whole objective here for her was. So I went on at the time to say Tulsi Gabbard is about to leave Congress, and this is what she puts up in her final weeks, looking to make headlines and get booked on conservative shows to keep the attention on her and her next moves. And that's exactly what she went on to do. Now, the person I want to give credit to here for calling this out way earlier than most people is Owen Higgins. So Owen Higgins is Paste Magazine here. This is November 2016. Tulsi Gabbard is not who you think she is. From homophobia to Islamophobia to cultism, she is no progressive's dream. Now, I will openly admit that at the time, so back in 2016, Tulsi Gabbard dropped out of her position at the DNC to back Bernie Sanders, claiming that the DNC was essentially rigging the election for Hillary Clinton, which was true. They were. Again, rigging it depends how you think of the word rigging. But yes, clearly the DNC favored Hillary Clinton, and they showcased that in various ways. But at the time, I thought, hey, look, this is somebody who's principled, doesn't like what she's seeing here, standing up for Bernie Sanders and coming out to endorse him. But I look back at that move now, and even though she was correct in her assessment at the time, clearly it was done for her own career. Because once that primary was over, then it was back to the same bullshit. So Tulsi Gabbard has a long history of these issues of homophobia, Islamophobia. She has largely been a conservative. So I figured at the time that maybe she just changed. You know, people change, they learn, they evolve. That's what she was saying at the time, that yes, this is in her past, this homophobia is in her past, but she's now different, she's changed. And I thought, okay, you know, allow people to change. What's the problem? But no, it's, you know, we have to kind of put aside what are her actual positions, because I don't know if she even has any positions. That doesn't really ultimately matter. What matters here is what is driving her, how she's using her power and her platform. So I think what is driving her is her career, and she utilizes her platform as a way to push right-wing talking points, as a way to prop up the right, while being this person who was a Democratic congressperson, has the position, has the authority to say, hey, I was a Democrat, but now the Democrats are going crazy. These are the kinds of individuals that right-wing media love to prop up, to throw money at and promote, because it helps to potentially trick other people into thinking, hey, yeah, Tulsi was a Democrat. She was someone who I agreed with. She backed Bernie Sanders. And now she is, calling out the left for who they really are. When in reality, it's all about her own career. It always has been. So I'll link to Owen Higgins' piece below this video as well. But man, it's been a long time coming. There has been so many. I mean, I could have probably spent an hour just showcasing all of the clearly right-wing positions that Tulsi Gabbard has taken over the last several years in the lead up to this moment of her finally getting the shot by being able to host Tucker's show. But it showcases that this entire time, Tulsi Gabbard has been about herself.